Breaking news tonight, a large fire burning in the Campbell Park area of Anchorage. The Anchorage Fire Department says it's on the north side of Dowling and the west side of Elmore. It's between Dowling and Tudor Center. A large tanker aircraft, 2 helicopters dropping fire retardant on that fire all afternoon long. And as of last check, no structures currently being threatened by that blaze. We're starting tonight with team coverage on this. We have teams all across that area looking at different aspects of this fire, and we have information that will be important for your safety. Lauren Maxwell, you're in a subdivision. What have you learned about the fire and the reaction of the residents there?
Well, I can tell you this is the Sunchase subdivision, and for a lot of the folks that live here, Mike, it is deja vu. If you can see behind me, it's a green belt over there, and there's a lot of activity with helicopters dropping water. We've seen the big red fire chemicals that are putting down, and a lot of people sitting out and watching. When I talked to them earlier today, when the fire was a little bit stronger, when the flames were leaping, people were really worried because it reminded them of the MLK fire that was basically in the same area about 2 years ago. Now, at that time, people were told to evacuate the subdivision. It was closed off for quite a bit. This time, apparently, officers came through and warned people, be ready. It might not happen. It might just be ready. I talked to a number of people that were sort of packing up, keeping things, just in case. But at this point, I have to say, it doesn't look like things are nearly as bad as they were even a couple of hours ago. So there's a little bit of a sigh of relief here in this subdivision that literally just backs up to the greenbelt where that fire is taking place. Back to you.
All right, that's good to hear. Thanks, Lauren Maxwell. Let's go live now to Patrick Enslow. He's also in a neighborhood that's off of Dowling. Patrick, what are you seeing and hearing out there?
Well, Mike, earlier today, folks who lived in this neighborhood said they could see flames. Well, that's not the case anymore. As you can see behind me, things have mellowed out from the fire just from visibly looking at it. This neighborhood backs up to the greenbelt, but we are seeing lots of planes, lots of helicopter. They're going in there, they're dropping off water, and you can't even smell smoke out here. And there's a gentle breeze. It's not too rough, but it's a gentle breeze, and yeah, they're going in there, they're dropping the water, and no real smell of smoke. And you can tell here, folks are starting to kind of get a little bit of confidence and kind of getting back to business as usual. But when they initially saw that blaze, you could definitely tell folks were very concerned, but there's a large presence out here as well between APD and some other folks. They're all out here. They're managing traffic. So if you do plan on driving around this area, there is a lot of roads that are closed as they're trying to fight this fire and make sure everyone kind of stays out of the area. Mike?
All right, Patrick on the scene for us tonight. Let's go to Austin Zhang now. He's on Tahiti Loop, close to the edge of Campbell Park. And Austin, tell us what you've been seeing, and you've been watching this very aggressive attack from the air all afternoon.
Yeah, it was honestly pretty impressive, Mike. They had a giant tanker come right over where my shoulder is here, and it basically like a flyover right over top of us. It was pretty crazy. They also have a helicopter still going. He's getting water from Campbell Creek, and he's still dropping water on that fire. I've probably only been here about an hour, and when we got here, smoke all over the place. Now, not so much, but I have a feeling that that last helicopter getting all of that water out of Campbell Creek is probably going to be sticking around and staying until all of the smoke from behind us is gone, and it's almost to that point. It was pretty cool to see. It was almost like we were standing in the middle of like an active airport. We had so much going on behind us. There was a command plane kind of flying in circles, letting everybody know. You can actually hear him right now. He's flying over me right now, letting everybody kind of know that's helping contain this fire, what to do, because it's kind of a small area when you think about it, and you got 5 birds up in the air. A lot can go wrong, but it doesn't look like it did. It looked like it went pretty well. Obviously not fully contained right now, and we talked to some folks that were around here watching, and this is what they had to say.
Looking back here at the smoke, at times it looks like it's going down, but then again it looks like it's coming back up too, but a lot of that could be the wind. But I'm glad to see that they've got crews working on it constantly.
Yeah, and he was actually here when that fire in MLK Day in 2019, so you can imagine how scary that is. But this one a little bit further away, so hopefully this is the worst of it and it's coming to the end. We're going to send it back to you now, Mike.
All right, Austin, thanks for the update. Thanks so much. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry has been tracking the conditions near the fire and watching the winds especially close tonight. Melissa, you were saying this could have been an even worse situation with a simple shift of the winds this afternoon.
Yeah, there's three things we watch when it comes to wildfire danger. It's the temperature, it's the humidity, and it's the wind. Now, we know it's been hot. We know it's been dry. Fortunately, the winds, though, not too terribly strong, sitting between 6 and 10 miles per hour right over this fire. They're blowing in almost directly from the west. That's what blew that fire so quickly to the east, burning into that additional fuel that was available in this green space area. Now, had those winds been reversed 180 degrees, you can see the communities, the homes, and the roads that are just to the west of this fire. It would have been a very different situation. Now, temperatures have been warm, sitting in the 70s and 80s. So again, dry, warm conditions. We do have some thunderstorms, no lightning in Anchorage, but we have seen some lightning over the Kenai Mountains, also seeing some lightning tonight over the Copper River Basin, and we still have that chance for an isolated thunderstorm here in Anchorage here this evening as well. Otherwise, the chance for any widespread rain just not going to happen in the near future. Temperatures tomorrow will be right back up into the 70s. This will be the 15th day that we've seen 70-degree days here in Anchorage this summer. Already the warmest start to a summer that we have ever recorded. Mike, I'll have a look at that full 7-day forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, Melissa, we'll see you then. Thanks. Well, our mission here at Alaska's News Source is to always get you the information you need to make decisions about keeping you and your family safe. Again, this afternoon, we do not know of any structures that are being threatened by this fire. Roads in that area are closed around the fire scene, and there's a new emergency operations number. You can call 343-4701 to get information on the fire, especially if you live in that area. Again, that's 343-4701, and officials are asking people to stay out of that area. Here's a look now again at where the fire is specifically. Again, the fire department says it's on the north side of Dowling, on the west side of Elmore, and it's between Dowling and Tudor Center. It is in the same area as the MLK fire back in 2019. We're going to keep tabs on this fire all throughout this hour and this evening on alaskasnewssource.com.
Now, welcome back. If you're just joining us, again, we're monitoring a wildfire that's burning in the Campbell Creek area of Dowling and Elmore. This is video from this afternoon. And we just got an update from the Anchorage Office of Emergency Management. They say the fire is currently 10 acres and 25% contained. 17 Anchorage fire units responded to the fire, along with the Division of Forestry and J-Bear fire crews. In addition to those ground crews, they also had 2 helicopters and 3 air tankers working the fire. You can see attacking it from both below and from above. Now, I want to go back out to Lauren Maxwell, who is in a residential area near the fire. Lauren, just 3 years ago, back in July 2019, we were in a very similar situation, really scary for those homeowners in that area. What are you hearing that the public needs to hear at this point?
Well, you know, the homeowners here, as you said, are very cognizant of the fact that they literally had a fire, very much like the one behind me, in their backyard just a couple of years ago. The folks I've talked to have said they were more concerned about that particular fire because at that time they were asked to evacuate their entire subdivision. This time, officers have come through, told people to get ready, and we have seen some folks doing that, you know, just kind of packing things up, putting it in the car. Earlier today, we saw some people with their hoses out, just trying to keep the sides of their condos well hydrated. You know, there's a lot of concern, but I have to say that in the last hour or so, it doesn't seem like we're seeing those big flames that we did at one point. So talking to people here, I would say they are feeling a little bit more relaxed about how things are going, but again, many of them are prepared in case they do have to evacuate.
All right, again, Lauren Maxwell reporting for us there in Midtown. And yeah, I can't imagine those homeowners that went through this, again, just 3 years ago, 2019, that was the hottest year we had ever recorded. And at this point, we are already seeing hotter conditions than we did that year, again, back in the summer of 2019. Again, the fire now 25% contained, estimated to be about 10 acres. I want to show you a time lapse of what it looked like, the progression of the fire, because it did grow just so rapidly. And this was 2 o'clock, no sign of the fire, but you'll see about 2:15, you'll start to see the smoke firing up there. There it goes. And it did continue to spread and grow in height very quickly, seeing flames on the ground by about 3:15. The flames even higher than the treetops. Then we saw that smoke spreading further to the east with those westerly winds. And here by about 4 o'clock, you start to see the smoke dampening down just a bit. And then it stayed pretty stable at this point. You can see they must have a pretty good handle on the fire because we're not seeing nearly as much smoke. But every once in a while, you'll see another tree burst into flames even at this hour. As I mentioned earlier, the winds, really the saving grace in this situation, they were out of the west. And the homes that we're talking about right here, the fire burning just to the east of that, had those winds been the opposite direction, again, an entirely different situation.